Welcome back on Dynamo. Today I want to propose you the unboxing and first impression about the new Battletome Stormcast Eternals for the 2018 released by the Games Workshop for the game of Age of Sigmar Soul Wars, in this case the second edition. And this is the cover, so it's really wonderful as a cover. We can see that the thickness of this tome, Battletome, it's quite big, it's quite massive as content, so it's good to buy. The price it's really good. And I want to remember you that I have the English version because the GW has released two different versions except the premium one that are with different prices, and this one it's the biggest because it has all the background that I like, so I prefer buy this than the smaller version. So now we can start to see the contents inside this Battletome, and we can flip. We can find this, that it's a battle that presents the Stormcasts Eternals against the Demons of Nargol. It's quite nice as a back cover. Then we can flip, and we can see a bit of new background that we can find about Age of Sigmar itself. We can flip. We can find the contents inside this book and an image that make you see a army of the Stormcasts Eternals against the Blades of Corn as an army. Then we can flip and we can find the background that it's about the Stormcasts Eternals ones, and it's quite good because there is a lot of background. Here we can see the image that we see in the back cover with the colors. I don't know if I prefer this color one or the other ones, but it's a really quite amazing cover, I think. And we can see that here we have a lot of pages with the background, and with the background that it's also coming from before and after the Mile Importance book. Here we can find, for example, the part that it's the image that you can find on the set box about the second edition of Age of Sigmar 1, that it's as contents Stormcasts Eternals against the Night Hounds. And if you want to find the unboxing about the set box itself, you can find in the link up here or down in the description, because I yet realized such a video. And we can find that here we find a lot of new information that you can flip and read quite good, because there are a lot of things. Here it's the summary of what happened from the Age of the Myth till now, so you have a sort of briefing of what happened during this time, and there is quite a lot of information that you can read about it. Then we can see the background about the Stormhosts themselves with the different iconography and so on. And then we can find the part about the background specific for the Stormcast itself, with some of the battle that they played with. And then we can find the chambers of the Stormcast themselves, so we can find how it's the structure of the chambers that are the Stormcast in playing. So it's really good to see this scheme, because it lets you understand how it works all the Stormcast hosts. So it's really quite interesting one. And then we can find again other BG about the Stormcast. So you have about the era, about the Age of Sigmar, so a lot of information, and also specific ones about the Stormcast. You have here the background about the different types of Stormhosts that you can find, so the different forges of Stormcast Eternals ones. So you can find a bit of backgrounds about them and choose the one that you prefer to be related with, because they are really quite interesting ones. For example, I love these ones, for example, as background. So you have a lot of different ways to choose which one are the best to represent your models. Here we can see about the weaponry, and here we can see about the background about the different units that you can find in this Battletome. there are a lot of background, and sincerely I like to read because there is a lot of information about each different unit, and I think that it's quite interesting if you are interested in the Stormcasts Eternals as an army in the completion. So it's quite interesting, really. You can find a lot of things. All the different units are represented here with the background, and here we have the different color schemes that you can use. For example, this one that I love, because I said you that I want to play them, but you can find the different scheme of colors that you can use for represent some of your storm hosts. Here we have a bit of miniatures to talk about, so some of the older ones and some of the new ones. So, for example, here we can have a bit of schemes that you can see how to represent what you are playing with as the storm host. Some of the images you can find also in the July 2018 White Dwarf, for example. Here, for example, are all new models that you can find that are also in the set box. Also these ones. Here we have also the models that are similar to these ones that comes from Shakespeare's, for example, the easy to build. You can see a lot of things, and here we have how to paint the different stormhosts of the Stormcast Eternals ones, and we have a lot of images with also the color schemes and how to realize them. For example, this is quite interesting for me because I like and I want to play these ones as models. So now I'll use this scheme to use it for my models about the Stormcast Eternals ones. So it's quite interesting one to have an idea of how to realize some type of schemes for your models. Here we have the Forces of Sigma, so we start with the rules, how the rules work. Here we have the Alliance's abilities about the Stormcast Eternals ones. Here we have the command traits and the different artifacts that we can use with the units inside this Battletome, so it's quite interesting. And we have a lot of things that we have to understand about and know about the usage of these ones, because there are a lot of things to understand, because you can choose a lot of different ways. Here we have the spell lores for the Stormcast Eternals, the prayers. We have really a lot of things to take note about. The mount traits, so we have also the mounts that can have the specializations. Here we have also how to characterize the different storm hosts, so you can use the scheme of color that you use to represent that storm host. And anyway, you have different ways, because you have the abilities, you have the command abilities specific, the command traits. You can really personalize your army in the usage that you want. So there is quite a lot of things that you can take note about. So there are a lot of information, a lot of things that can let you personalize your army. Maybe almost surely it's one this of the most personalized one that you can realize. Sincerely, I hope that all the books that there will be, it will be like this one, because the lot of variety that can give you to personalize and having your way to play. I think that it's amazing in that way. Here we have a battle plan, another one, so you can play different battle plans from the user if you want to try. Then we have Path to Glory, with the rules, the Path to Glory, the points, and so on. So we have also a way to play little bands, little war bands about them. And then we have finally the War battalions. And here we can find a lot of War battalion. The main part of these are similar or all the ones in the previous Stormcast Eternals book. But in a way, it's really a lot of different ways that you can play. Because we have War battalions that are chambers, that have also sub-ones to them, others War battalion that you can use, for example. So you can really use in different ways these War battalions, and can be quite interesting ones to play. Then we have the rules about these units that are inside this Battletome. And this is the new way that they represent the rules about the different units, the war scrolls of the different units. What I like more in this new type of Battletome is that they specify what its amount and how it works, so you don't have to pay attention to what it can be confused, for example for the beaters or so on. It's really quite interesting, this one. And I like also the way that they use also the imaging of the miniatures, for example, to represent the units, because it can be more easily associated to the models themselves. And you have a lot of miniatures that you can use, because the Stormcast Eternals, it's maybe one of the ones that have more miniatures, more options, and they continue to add. So it's quite good if you want to make your army a different ones, you want to try different things. There are a lot of things that you can use. This is really something that if you want to play Stormcast Eternals, you have to buy, because it's really useful. Moreover, for some units they changed the way, for example the prosecutors are not anymore divided into different units. It means that there are not some problems again with the war scrolls names for the units in the war scrolls battalions, so it's quite useful in this way, and you have only to decide which type to use with the weaponry that you give to the unit itself. So there are a lot of things, and it's quite interesting. And then finally we have also the endless war scrolls for this army. So we have also the specific one and the pitched battle profiles, so they're quite interesting to see these ones. Then we can find again the back cover, that it's the imaging that we find at the beginning, and then we can see the end of this book. Sincerely, I find this book really quite interesting one, and I'd suggest you to buy if you want to buy the Stormcast Eternals as an army, because it's a must if you want to play it completely. Obviously, you can use the app of the Age of Sigmar to see the rules of the different war scrolls, because it's free, but not, for example, for the war scroll battalions ones or other things like artifacts and so on. So, considering the amount of information, the background, and the amount of rules that are inside here that you can't find for free, sincerely, I suggest you anyway to buy this book, because it's quite interesting one.
From Dynamod, it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video, or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again to the next time.